Hey, Team Christian Danielle fan. This time, my topic is going to be about my high school experience. Well, before I get to the high school part, I'm going to start with freshman year. Freshman year, I spent it in the middle of nowhere in Kentucky before it got recognition. The city was called Campbellsville, Kentucky. And ever since I left Campbellsville, people from Campbellsville are getting recognized based on what's been going down on social media or the My Super Sweet 16 appearance. Yes, I went to high school with My Super Sweet 16's Ariel Milby. She was one of my closest friends when I first moved to Campbellsville. I first moved to Campbellsville in middle school, but once I got to high school, everybody wanted to be my friend. And I enjoyed my freshman year. I was at the homecoming. I went to all the dances. Of course, I was at every party when I was in Campbellsville because everybody who was somebody was invited to that party. Especially while being known as Coach Poole's daughter, while my dad was coaching for Campbellsville University. Now let's go on to my sophomore year. Sophomore year, I had to move back to Cincinnati. And I started out sophomore year at Princeton. In fact, Princeton was supposed to be the high school I was supposed to graduate, but my family and I moved to Fairfield. Mostly all my friends that graduated, they are all from Princeton, but the rest are from Fairfield. But sophomore year, it was a decent year. The guys were when it came to guys, the guys was like, "Ooh, Christian Poole's back. She done got hot." And this was way before I gained a lot of weight. And then that's how I got my first boyfriend. His name was Jerry. And then y'all know Gino Morgan TV. He was my second boyfriend, off and on. But we don't talk anymore. But here comes junior year. Junior year, I I was still off and on with Eugene, even though my Fairfield friends got to introduce me to these other guys. One of them in particular is John, the one I went to see in Nebraska, because that's where he lives right now. But I'll get to that later. Junior year and moving to a new school was not the move I wanted to do, especially if I had just already transferred schools for sophomore year. And that was because my mom got tired of being living in the country. She got tired of going back and forth 3 hours back home to see family. And then next minute, my dad got a different job and it was back at home in Cincinnati. And my dad told me around Christmas time, we're moving back to Cincinnati. And I was pretty excited but nervous at first. Cause I love the city that I'm from. But I had already made a bond with these people that I made a bond with back in Campbellsville. Now, ever since I left, they they all come to Cincinnati, and then they see where I'm living. They see where everything is in Cincinnati and how the Cincinnati people are. Because the black people back in Kansas, they thought I was bougie as hell. But there was more to me to just being a city girl. I wasn't even bougie for real. I was just a typical girl who wanted to fit in, but being who I am, I actually stood out. But again, junior year, oh my gosh, I didn't get recognized until the end of junior year. And that was when I hung out with my three best friends at the time. But we're still friends now. Their names are Maya Smith, Jordan Rogers, and Skylot. And we had another friend. Her name was Akia Armstrong. We formed our own little clique based off the neighborhood that we stayed in. Because we all lived in the same neighborhood junior and senior year of high school. Well, it was me, Maya, and Akia's junior year and senior year. Jordan and Sky were sophomores and juniors at the time that me and Maya and Akia were juniors and seniors. Now, senior year, it was a it was a twist of turns. Cause I remember senior year, I started getting paranoid, thinking, "Oh, if I do all this stuff, people laugh at me." And I was very paranoid, thinking I was being laughed at when really I wasn't. And that was not a good experience at all. And it got to the point where I got suspended for accidentally bumping into a pregnant teacher. Not the most graceful moment of my life. And the suspension took a toll on my grades. But it gave me a wake up call that not everybody's gonna like me for who I am. People are not gonna always be there. And the people who are your friends are the ones that stick it out with you to the end. And my friends that actually stuck it out with me are Maya, Jordan, and Sky. And not to mention my best friend Raina and Maya Bentley. They also stuck it out with me, even when I moved to Kentucky. And when I was a senior, I went to prom with Maya and Akia, of course, and several other seniors. We were all single. Well, most of us were single, minus Deanna. If my friends were watching this, they would probably be like, Christian, what is you doing on social media talking about us? But I'm talking about everybody in a positive way. I don't speak on negative because it makes me look horrible. And not only will it make me look horrible,